I'm feeling good. The sun is shining. I knew it would. The world's a playground. I'm in the clouds. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm on the big stage. I got my crew. I'll get you moving. It's what I do. The party's starting. It's going down. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. Check me out. Check me out. Just check me. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out.
Welcome to another edition of Bulldogs Live here on, multiple streaming platforms, as is the voice of the Bulldogs, Reed Duthie. Very pleased to welcome in this morning Hamilton Bulldogs defenseman Cameron Supryka. Cam, how are you?
Doing good, Reed. Thanks for having me.
Well, pleasure to have you on. And obviously the first thing we got to start with is what have you been up to since the season was canceled?
Just the usual of working out and sticking out and shooting pucks. I've been pretty lucky. My stepmom has her own gym here just outside of my house, so I've been lucky to be able to start my summer training already. And I've got a nice shooting setup. I've got a cottage just on the water here, about 10 minutes away from my house, so got a good shooting setup there. So I've been already in the summer training, and I think I've been a lot luckier than some of my other teammates so far. So I've been staying pretty busy so far.
Well, that's good. It does sound like an excellent setup. Of course, as we get going here this morning, want to remind everybody that this is brought to you by our great friends and partners at FirstOntario Credit Union. Without them, we would not be able to put these shows on. As well, you can leave a comment on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. I can see all the comments. If you've got questions for Cameron Supryka, I will be asking them to him as this rolls along. And, of course, our schedules continue along. Both the video game side with Liam Van Loon on Thursday, March the 14th. He'll be on at 3 o'clock playing NHL 20 before Tag Bertuzzi and Arthur Kaliev on May the 21st will square off NBA 2K20. And our schedule for Bulldogs Live Friday, May the 15th at 4 p.m. Logan Morrison and Ryan Winterton before my birthday episode, May the 22nd, 11 a.m. Liam Van Loon and Tag Bertuzzi. Cam, when you look at that schedule coming up, and I talked to Avery Hayes about this, when you see Tag Bertuzzi and Arthur Kaliev are going to square off at NBA 2K20, who's coming away the winner of that?
Oh, geez. They're both really good. I know they both really play that game pretty hard. So I don't know. That's a tough choice. I don't know. I'd have to go with – it depends what game they're playing. If they're playing my team, I'd have to go with Arthur because I know he's got a pretty nice my team. But I'm not sure about tags, so I don't know.
That was the same prediction that Avery gave. He said that if they go my team, that Artie's got something special going on there.
Yeah,
and if it's tags. So I like that. I like that we're getting a little bit of back and forth here. Now, one thing that a lot of fans may not know about you is not only are you an OHL hockey player and have been since your days with the Peterborough Petes after being drafted and coming to Hamilton, but as well, your family has a long history both in the OHL and in the NCAA. Your dad, Jason, played at RIT down south and before now being a scout with the LA Kings. Your brother, Josh, was an original draft pick of the Belleville Bulls that ended up having his rights moved to Kingston by the Bulldogs. Played at Canisius College in the States, came up and played in the OHL for a bit, now on with the Carleton Ravens. What's it like having that sort of hockey family?
Yeah, I've been pretty spoiled, especially with my brother recently going through the OHL draft and stuff like that. A few years past, he really helped me with my draft year before I was drafted at Peterborough, just learning from him and maybe some of the mistakes that he made and he learned on. And with my dad, he's been around the game for a long time. He played in RIT, like you said, and then he coached for the Bulls and the Kingston Frontenacs, and now he's a scout at the LA Kings. So he's really helped me with my development along the way as well as my brother.
Now, let's go back in time to when you first arrived with the Hamilton Bulldogs, because obviously it had to be a little bit tough. You were drafted to the Peterborough Petes, so you were staying very, very local for you when you started in the OHL. But when you got moved to Hamilton, I remember talking to both Dave Matzos and Steve Staios, and they saw something really special in a young Cam Supryka that they thought with some work and some time in this system, he could become a really special kind of player. And I think we've seen that because it wasn't more than a couple of weeks that you were in Hamilton that I think everybody kind of went, whoa, this guy is pretty darn good. What was your transition like going from Peterborough to the Bulldogs?
It was really smooth, and I credit all that to all the staff there. The staff is it's hard to put into words. They treat you like pros. Ever since I got there, I remember when I first walked in there with my mom with my Pete's bag on my shoulder. Steve gave me a big hug and he said, "Welcome to the family," and that's what it's been like ever since I got there. And even with my billets, my billets, Rob and Julie Stockel and Jolie Stockel, they welcomed me with, they gave me a hug right away and they said, "Welcome to the family," and that's what it's felt like ever since I got there. I've been spoiled at that house for a year and a half now. So, yeah, like I said, it's a huge family, the Bulldogs organization. They do, you go to the rink every single day, you're treated like pros, and, everything they want you to succeed. So it was really welcoming and an easy transition for me coming from Peterborough.
Who on the team helped you along when you made the move over to Hamilton?
I think there was plenty of guys. Obviously, it was nice me going there. I didn't know many guys going there, to be honest. I did a summer training camp with Tag Bertuzzi once, but he was recently traded there as well, so he wasn't much familiar with most of the players as well. But, there were so many guys. Like Casey Lamore is from Belleville, Ontario as well, so I kind of had that little connection with Casey. So Casey helped me. If I ever needed anything, if I needed to talk away from the rink, stuff like that, he was always there for me. I think when I got injured at the end of the year with my face, I think Tag and Michael Renwick and we all kind of were working out together because they both had their shoulder injuries. So I think we both kind of created a bond together, us three, and we kind of just worked out together. And I think those are the two guys that I really could have went to if I needed anything or wanted to ask a few questions. But you know, it was easy transition. You know, Matt Strome was a great captain. He made it very evident right away that you need anything, just come let me know, and I'll try and do my best abilities to help you.
Now, Matt Strome is somebody that we've had a lot of stories about, both on the Bench podcast and here on Bulldogs Live. Going back to Michael Renwick and Tag Bertuzzi, talking about him cutting their dinners for them and helping them around the rink when they were both going through the shoulder problems. You're talking about what a great captain he was. Avery Hayes was talking about that the other night. He seems to be one of those rare guys in the game that the character and the stories about what kind of character he is are going to long outlive what's going to be a long career for him. What is it that makes Matt Strome so special?
I think it's just his personality. He's a really open guy. You know, you can go to him and talk to him about anything. And I think he's got that open personality. And he's also a good guy in the dressing room, you know. He's not afraid to talk up. I don't think there's much BS with Matt. I think if he sees something, he's going to let you know about it. And I think that's what made him a really great, authentic captain for our team that year. And we were in a growing phase. We were developing as a team. And I think he was the perfect guy for the job.
Corey Coakley in our chat says that he misses everyone around the Hamilton Bulldogs, essentially. And I think that's a common theme, Cam, because when you look at the kind of support that the Bulldogs get from the fans, it is a rabid fan base, and I say that with the most love possible.
Yeah.
They want to be around the rink. They want to watch the game. They know you guys like the back of their hand. Every time I talk to them, they can quote you stats and player hometowns. This is an incredible fan base, and I think everybody's just waiting to get back to them.
Yeah, I'm really excited for next season. It was definitely tough at the end of this year. I think we all had lots of high hopes for playoffs. You know, I think we were all excited to go on a good run there at the end of the season. And, you know, just to top it off, we knew we were going to have a good full building at FirstOntario Centre. You know, the fans near the end of the stretch there were really great for us. And that was something definitely we were looking forward to. And to hear that the season ended this way, obviously it's heartbreaking, but, you know, it's a lot bigger than hockey, and we all know that and accept that, and we're all just looking forward to next season.
When you look at next season and you look at the amount of talent the Bulldogs have compiled on the blue line and how young it is, I mean, you talk about a class from players 01 to 04 now, Jorian Donovan coming in, of course, Jake Bell 2000, Cade Landry 99, but the amount of players that in that even say 01 to 03 age group that you guys have had on that back end, what's it kind of growing and developing with a number of other guys that are all the same age, that are all in that same sort of finding their way along? How's that been for you and for the rest of the guys on that blue line group?
I think it's been really good. You know, I think we all can learn something about each other. So we all bring unique skills and traits. And I think at the end of practice, when we're all messing around, we all teach each other new things. We're all showing each other new things, new moves on the blue line and stuff. And I think just with our ages being so close and lots of us going to high school together, you create that certain bond. And that's what you want as a decor. We're a really tight decor. So, you know, just like I said, like we all can teach each other things. And I think it just helps us all develop as people and good hockey players as well.
In my role, one of the really fun things when I get to watch practice and see you guys do that at the end is seeing this just melting pot of ideas all coming together, whether it's the guys trying the different shootout moves, the D's working on different moves inside the blue line and how to escape with the puck. Is that just something that coaches like Dave Matsos and Andrew Campbell and Patrick Jarrett really encourage you guys to do day in, day out and just share ideas and try different things?
Yeah, they're always bouncing ideas off us. They're always giving us new tips here and there. But to be honest, like I think it's like within all of us, all of our guys, like we're all there to learn and get better. And I think we all know that. So if I ever see something and I see something I think they can improve, I always throw an idea at them. So I remember a few times this year with Peyton Besio at the end of practice, we'd always work on our hands and then getting our eyes up, walking across the blue line. And I remember seeing Peyton one time in a game. I was like, he had his eyes down. I was like, Peyton, let's try and like work on getting our eyes up, because it's something I need to work on as well. So it's like stuff like that, just like little things like, and it's easy because when we're so close together as a team and as a decor, it's easy to throw those ideas at each other, because you know that it's meant in a good way, and we're all just trying to get better. So, you know, a few times, like I said, this year, me and Peyton would practice that, walking across the blue line with our eyes up, looking for tips. And I remember, and just stuff like that. Like I remember this year in the game, Peyton walked across the blue line and then saw a shot tip, and then he got it deflected and got a nice assist, and we scored. And I remember he came back to the bench. He's like, "Yeah, that's what we've been working on." And I was like, "Yeah." So he's like, "Yeah, that's great." And I was like, "Yeah, man, that's why we just got to keep working on it." So it's simple stuff like that where we all work together as a team, and ultimately it's going to help us win more hockey games the closer we are as a decor.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Some questions rolling in for you from fans. Twitch Udo asks, what is Cam's favorite video games?
That's my buddy. I'd probably say right now I've been playing Fortnite, but and then a little bit of NHL with the guys, but I'm not very good at video games, so I kind of get frustrated a little bit easier than everyone else does, because I'm always getting killed in the games or not winning NHL games. So I don't play as much video games as I'd like, but yeah, I'd probably say Fortnite right now.
See, I was talking to Avery Hayes about Fortnite, and he was saying that the attraction might be that it's an easy one to get into, because I've tried it a couple times, and I go back to playing Call of Duty with my buddies when I was in high school, and I was no good. It didn't matter what happened, where I spawned. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is my guy was running because I was in trouble the whole time.
That's me. That's me playing all these video games, and I've struggled with these gun games. My mom didn't like gun games when I was growing up, so I didn't play many of those on the PlayStation. So I just kind of got into the Call of Duties and GTAs and Black Ops, whatever, this year. So I'm just learning still a little bit. So my buddy Yuto there, he always destroys me when we play Fortnite 1v1 or whatever it is. So.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. At least I know I'm not alone. Michelle McDonald asks, out of the players that won't be back next year, who will you miss the most?
All the overage guys I'll miss a lot. I mean, like Isaac, when he first came in there, like I said before, he made me feel so welcome and feel like at home. And, you know, he was just such a presence on the ice. He was so fun to watch. And then with Cade to work with in the decor, his mind for the game was just above a lot of other players. And he would show us new things. He would study the game and stuff like that. And I would learn a lot from those two guys. And with Brady coming in at the end of the year, it just shows, like with Brady, he worked so hard. He was so dedicated to our team. And there's so many things I personally learned from those guys who won't be back next year. And hopefully I can bring to the team next season.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really good team, really talented, really deep, but obviously you're going to miss the leadership and the skills that those three guys brought. I mean, you look at Isaac Nurse's leadership, a kid that worked his tail off to get to where he was, and then Cade Landry, who was a big part of the blue line, and, of course, Brady Johnson, who arrived at the beginning of the season and became a staple, a shutdown center, and one of the elite ones in the league, really.
Yeah, he was so huge for us, Brady was, at the end of the season. You know, just with he's that guy you want on the ice the last minute of the game. You know, he's going to win that draw. He's going to block the shot. You know, he's just the ultimate team player, and that's just the guy you want on the team.
He had a couple of games where, looking at stats on the bus afterwards, I would just sit there amazed, because he was 80, 85, 90% the faceoff circle a few times. And it's, how does somebody pull that off?
It's crazy, though. Like, that's the stuff you see, the stats after the game. But honestly, like, you see after practice, he's working with Patty doing faceoffs. Like, he's always working on it. So that's why it's like, it's something. It's nice to see, to be honest, because you don't get to see that stuff, especially at the next level. Like, you don't get to see all the work that's put in behind the scenes, and Brady put in a lot of work behind the scenes, especially on his face-offs and stuff like that, and his D-zone coverage and his penalty killing tactics. Like, he's always asking questions in the video room. So, like, it was cool to see how well he did on the ice, but you saw the preparation and all the work he put in off the ice to be rewarded with the good on ice success.
Absolutely, and that says it right there. All the work that he did throughout the season to get to where he was by the end. Katie Hines asks, best part of being on the road?
Probably yelling the Bruins suck from the back of the bus and seeing Reed's reaction. No, I'd probably say just hanging out with the guys and staying in the hotel rooms. It's always fun. I think it's great for your team to go on road trips, because I think especially at the start of the season with new players coming on, you learn so much more about your new teammates. And then I think it just helps you bond together more as a team, and then it'll help you with your chemistry on the ice and stuff like that. And it just makes life a lot easier after a few road trips, because you're so much more comfortable at the rink, and it's a lot easier to ask questions. And that's probably it. Probably just hanging out with the guys on the road and learning new stuff about your teammates.
Those road trips are a lot of fun. I can never tell who it is in the back of the bus yelling. I think I've been blaming Vesio for you.
I can't say, but he's probably said a few things about Torrey Krug too.
You guys know where to needle me when we're on the ride. Absolutely.
Yeah, if we're ever bored, we always yell something up at you, Reed.
See if I turn around, eh?
Yeah.
I know one of the things that definitely would not be at the top of the list for being on the road is the Tim Hortons drink scramble that we go to the game. And who ordered the coffee? Where's the coffee?
Yeah.
Those are fantastic.
You know what, though? Like, we're so lucky to have Mr. Anlauer to be able to do that for us, because when I was in Peterborough, we didn't stop before games, and in Hamilton, that's the one thing I remember. That's actually a good story. I remember we were in Flint. It was my first game, and we went to Tim Hortons before the game. So I went up and I was like, "Oh, how much is it?" And the lady's like, "Oh, it's on one bill." And then I remember Frank Jenkins said to me, he's like, "Yeah, the team pays for it." And I was just like, "Wow." Like, that's when I knew right there, like, not even just there, but like, that was just a cherry on top. It was like, wow, this organization is extremely professional, and I'm very lucky to be here.
And I'm glad you've mentioned those names, because obviously Steve Staios, fantastic in both the president and general manager roles. Michael Andlauer. I said it the other night to Avery Hayes, best owner in the league. You can say it's
CHL probably.
Yeah, I think he treats everybody as if this was an NHL franchise, and I think it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Aaron Lewis has a couple for you. Her daughter loves watching the Bulldogs, and you are her favorite player.
Oh, wow. Geez, I'll have to put up some better numbers this year so you can see me play a little bit more out there.
And then you're doing fine, pal. And everyone wants to know, this is also from Aaron, how long you've been playing hockey.
I think I started skating when I was like 4 or 5. Like, that's when I first got on the ice. And I think the first year I started playing was hockey, Belleville Bulls, and I think I played a year up, I believe, with the older age group. There was a coach, Randy Ewens, who was coaching the team, and he had a son named Zach who was my age. And I think my first year I started playing hockey, I was 7. So, yeah.
All right. From Jay Gravel 57. Hey, I think hey, Cameron, big fan. Wondering what it's like to play with such a talent like Jake Gravel.
Oh, there we go. Oh, God. Gravy. Such a beauty.
Any good
you know what, though?
Well,
pardon?
Any good stories about Jake Gravel?
Oh, there's too many, I think. There's too many. Yeah, I know. Gravy's funny. I always chirp him because we'll go into some games and he'll have tape just peeling off his stick. I'm a nerd about taping all my sticks before the game, making sure it's all perfect. And then there's Jake, hasn't taped his stick in 2 weeks. He's got tape falling off the blade, and I don't know. It's so funny. There's so many little stories like that. Jake's a great guy. He's a beauty, and we're lucky to have him in Hamilton. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Great guy. Has quite the hockey look right now after a couple
incidents. Oh, yeah, I forgot about it. His tooth is gone. He's got some good lettuce going.
He and Andrew Campbell can commiserate and tell stories, I think. Same kind of look they both got going on there. Definitely can tell they're hockey.
Yeah.
All right, Kim.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're going to go to our first half game. We got 2 for you. And today we're going to play both Name That 90s item as well as try to pick the player for the drawings. I think we're going to start with Name That 90s item in our first half. I understand that you and Frank Jenkins were struggling a little bit with these earlier on this year.
Yeah, I don't know how well I'm going to do with this. This is probably going to be pretty tough.
All right. Well, let's see if we can start you off with an easy one. Number 1.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
You do not remember these ones?
No, I think I had the green one right there actually, but I can't remember what they're called.
Beanie Babies.
You have to help me with that one. What are they called?
Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies. Yeah, I don't know that one.
All right. Let's try picture number 2.
Oh, I'm not gonna get one, Reed. This is terrible. I don't know what this one is.
This was the one that I had trouble with. I didn't remember this one either. Apparently, those were called Crazy Bones.
That one, I wouldn't have guessed that. That's for sure.
All right, this one I think you'll get because I think everybody had one of these.
Oh, I don't know what that's called, but I remember using those all the time. My little sister actually has one right now still.
That would be the famous 90s Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh, jeez.
We got 2 more. This one here.
Oh my gosh, I had these. They're like moon shoes or something. What are they? Moon.
You got it. Moon shoes.
Moon shoes. Yeah, there we go. I actually had those.
Okay, I did not have those. Now, I'm obviously 2 years older than you are, but what did moon shoes do?
They're like mini trampolines, like on your feet, I think.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's just what I needed. I would have been bouncing. Yeah, I don't think so. Last one that we've got in the pictures. Now, this one I did have a lot of.
Oh, I have no clue. No idea. What are those?
Those are Pogs.
Pogs. What were they?
I didn't have a lot of those ones that they show, but at one time the NHL did them, and they had them like trading cards, but they were done in that circular form as a Pog, and you could there was a game you could play with them that involved flipping them, and I don't remember how exactly it worked, but those were pretty cool at one point. I do remember that. I don't know where all my NHL ones are though. Probably in the back somewhere in my house.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you. Oh, here we go. Hamilton Bulldogs Booster Club wants to know, just tuned in, not sure if this was already asked yet or not. It has not been. Who is the prankster on the team?
Oh. I don't know. I'll probably go with, let me try to think. There's so many. I think there's so many guys that are like sneaky about it, and you don't even know who they are yet. Like you still don't know who did certain things, but I think just Arthur does so many silly things around the dressing room, so I'd probably say him. He's just crazy, so he's always doing something funny around the room, that's for sure.
Now, Avery Hayes warned me about Ryan Humphrey the other night.
Oh, Humphreys for sure. I forgot about Humphreys. Humphreys for sure.
There was an incident.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? and I was watching something on my screen. They were piling something up on my hat. And not too happy when all that came crashing down in front of me.
I totally forgot about that. Holy, yeah, Humphreys for sure. And it's funny though, because it's weird. Like you don't notice that with a lot of rookies. Like he was so comfortable when he first came in. It was awesome to see.
All right, one more before we go to our quick halftime break. This one from Jamie Lawson. And now this started the other night in the conversation with Avery Hayes, and we had several players chime in. Where do you stand on the Michael Renwick shin pad issue? Apparently, Renwick has the worst shin pad style.
I think he doesn't even want to use clear tape. I think the boys make him use clear tape. Like he just does whatever he wants.
See, this is what was brought up the other night. Really, there had to be an intervention to get him to use clear tape.
Yeah, I think because it looks so bad, I think they had to get him to use clear tape. But it's funny though. I kind of like it because like I think there's so many guys, like not on our team, but I think on some teams there's so many guys that like only care about how they look on the ice, kind of thing. And that's one thing I love about him and then Jake Gravel with his stick. Like they just don't care. They just want to go play hockey and have fun with the boys. So that's the one thing I did like about his shin pads. That was the positive side of it, is that he just didn't really care.
Avery Hayes said he thinks his shin pads are 3 sizes too big. So
yeah, they probably are too.
And I think at some point here we're going to have to get Michael Renwick on for an episode because he's going to need a chance to rebut all this because he has just been getting piled on in the last 2 episodes. All right, so we are going to take a quick halftime break here because we want to remind everybody at home that this episode of Bulldogs Live, as all of ours are brought to you by our great friends and partners at FirstOntario Credit Union. We could not do this without them. And, of course, they have an offer coming up for you for high-interest e-savings. Enjoy 2.5% for 120 days when you open your first high-interest e-savings account at FirstOntario Credit Union. There are no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and you'll enjoy great rates while you watch your money grow. Members can open an account online today by visiting firstontario.com, and that is where you can get all of your details. As we continue along on today's show, remember you can leave a comment for Cameron Supryka, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and of course I'll be reading questions off to him all the way through the show. Our schedule for Bulldogs Live and Bulldogs e-gaming rolls on as well. On Thursday, May the 14th, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., it's Liam Van Loon playing NHL 20. And then the showdown everyone's been waiting for, Thursday, May the 21st, 11 a.m. to noon, it's Tag Bertuzzi and Arthur Kaliev squaring off in NBA 2K20. Coming up in the Bulldogs Live portion, 2 episodes over the next couple of weeks. Friday, May the 15th, 4 p.m., Logan Morrison and Ryan Winterton will join. Before Friday, May the 22nd, 11 a.m., we go back to the morning show format. It'll be Liam Van Loon along with Tag Bertuzzi. So get your morning coffee ready for Ryan Winterton. For Liam Van Loon and Tag Bertuzzi that day. Winterton and Morrison, 4 p.m. Back-to-back first-round picks for the Hamilton Bulldogs will join us on that episode. And of course, one of the great acquisitions for the Hamilton Bulldogs over the last couple of years is the gentleman I'm talking to this morning. That is Cameron Supryka. And Cam, one of the things that we got for video for you is a game that you were involved in the locker room that involved shaking Timbits. And of course, we played Avery Hayes doing a game in his episode, and we've got to go back in time and watch Cameron Supryka trying to get rid of.
Okay, I'm Cameron Supryka, and this is the Timbit shake. Did I get it? No, still one last. I see it in there. There we go, you got it. There you go.
Who talked into that one?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I was just trying to shake them all out. I don't know. That was weird. I think it was Ryan, or it was Avery that went before me, I think, or So I kind of just watched him. He was just shaking around everywhere. That was a funny challenge, though.
That one I've got to kick out of every time I've seen that video.
Yeah.
And,
I've actually never seen that, so that's funny.
You guys have a whole lot of fun. By the way, speaking of a lot of fun, and I wanted to bring you back in to get your thoughts on this, Cam, because on Monday night, we've got a big-time special. Monday, May the 11th, 7 p.m., Steve Staios, Nick Camano, Ben Gleason, Matt Strome, Mackenzie Entwistle, all together talking about the 2018 OHL champions. What do you remember from seeing the Hamilton Bulldogs? I know you weren't part of the team yet, but do you remember seeing that team playing against that team and seeing what they did to win that championship against the Greyhounds?
Yeah, I remember watching parts of the finals when they won. It was just so exciting. You could see how crazy that building was. I think it was one of the was there a Sportsnet game, I think?
Yep, I didn't get to call that game on the TV side. Sportsnet came in and did it. It kind of hurt my heart a bit, but I was glad the guys got the national exposure when they won.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I remember it was crazy. It was so electric in that arena. And actually, my first game in the OHL was in Hamilton with Peterborough. So Hamilton's always been a special spot for me, that's for sure.
Absolutely. This is an interesting follow-up to the video we watched. Who had to clean it up from Mike?
What? Oh, the Timbits? Oh, I don't know. I think we just picked them up right after. It was funny. I think Winterton and Duarte were waiting for us to go after. So that was funny though. That was there's a couple of fun Tim Hortons challenges I think we did that day.
Some of the videos of those are absolutely fantastic and a lot of fun to watch. I know they played a lot of them in the building over the season, and very, very entertaining stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, let's break in because I think we're going to need some time on this one. We're going to break into our second game here, and this one is the same one we played with Avery Hayes. This is Name the Bulldog in the Drawing. So the way that I did this with Avery, Cam, is that I sort of gave him a position, tried to give him a little bits of hints.
Okay.
It's not obvious. So we'll start up a forward that played in multiple different lines this season, a centerman for the Bulldogs.
Brady Johnson.
Brady Johnson it is, 1 for 1.
Not bad.
All right, long-time Bulldog winger.
Long-time Bulldog. Is it Isaac Nurse?
Isaac Nurse, 2 for 2. All right. Had the best game of his career in Sudbury. Forward.
Oh, Tag Bertuzzi.
Tag Bertuzzi in the 11-10 showdown where he had a hat trick in regulation and then scored the overtime winner.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. I'll remember that game forever. That's for sure.
That was a little bit wild. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Staying in the forward group, one of the young stars for the Bulldogs.
Jeez, I have no clue. I would say Borson.
Ryan Winterton.
Oh.
Ryan Winterton for that one. All right, next up. On the blue line for the Bulldogs.
Peyton Vesio.
Close, actually. That is Cameron Supryka.
That's me. Hey, wow.
That is Cameron Supryka. That's a bit of a trick one.
Yeah.
All right, centerman for the Bulldogs at one point this season was the best player in the Ontario Hockey League.
Janek.
That would be him. That would be him. All right, this is the first time we've had this happen. We've got two repeat players. So we go back. This is one of the forwards that we've already gone through.
Okay.
Younger forward, spent most of the season on the wing, but he can play center.
Who have we said? We've said Bertuzzi, Winterton.
Yannick and Johnson.
I'm going to say Winterton then.
That is Ryan Winterton.
Nice.
And this one I thought was great. The only thing this one left out was the jersey number on the sleeve, because I thought this was a pretty darn good drawing.
Oh, that is really good.
Tall defenseman.
Tall defenseman. Oh, who's the tallest? Is it Jenkins? Frank Jenkins?
It's actually you again, Cameron.
It's me again. Oh, wow. That is pretty good, eh?
That one, yeah. If they had put a 42 on that sleeve, I think that would have been a tremendous drawing.
Oh yeah.
Great work by all our Bulldogs fans to get those in. We've also got some questions, Cam, for you that were submitted online in advance of this, so we'll just go through some of those for you. And we talked about this a little bit earlier on, but in case the fan who asked this question is just tuning in a little bit later, they say, hey, Cam, my question for you is very basic. I just want to know what you're doing to keep yourself busy during these quarantine times. Yeah,
so I'm pretty spoiled. My stepmom has a gym just inside of Belleville. So I've been, the week actually found out, I think it was on a Monday. That's when I started my summer training. I do like a little bit of a bodybuilding phase, and then I've been doing that ever since. And then I also got some Mars Blade rollerblades about 2 weeks after I found out the season was done. So I've been doing lots of rollerblading and stick handling and just drills like that where I can do in an open parking lot. And then, like I said before, I've got a cottage just 10 minutes away from my house on the water where I've got a nice shooting setup so I can shoot pucks down there. So I've been pretty busy. This past week, I've actually set up like my own little schedule just because I found the first 5 to 6 weeks, it was just like kind of, oh, you can work out whenever, do this whenever. So I've been getting up a lot earlier and, working out and staying on schedule to hopefully be ready for next season.
That sounds good. Absolutely. What was your favorite game to play in this season?
Oh, the Sudbury game for sure.
Yeah.
Was it 11-10? I think
11-10.
It was crazy. I remember sitting and all of us sat in the dressing room after. And none of us took off our equipment. We just sat there and we were like, "What just happened?" We were like amazed at what happened. I remember like feeling a little nauseous at the end of the game from the roller coaster of emotions throughout the game. Just being up and down, like screaming when we score, and then like, oh crap, like they scored, like stuff like that, to the point where it was nauseating. It was crazy though. It's definitely a game I'll remember for the rest of my life. It's hard to put into words, honestly. There's so many goals and like.
No, you essentially echoed the feeling I had calling the game. Because I talked to Avery Hayes.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the first period, we were down, was it 2 or 3-1?
Yeah.
And it looked like there was some momentum building for the Bulldogs. Okay, fight back a bit in the second period. They can put themselves in a position to win for the third. You guys come out for the second period, and everything breaks loose.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think it was the last 10 minutes of the second. There was like, They changed their goalies too, right? So they switched their goalies, and then they switched them again.
Yep.
Like just stuff you never hear about. Yeah, it's crazy.
I still can't put into words what that was. I said to Avery Hayes, he might have gotten the short stick of the season. He scores a hat trick in that game, and by the end of it, nobody remembered because Bertuzzi, after he scored his hat trick, goes on to score another 4 in time winner. I couldn't imagine what you guys must have been feeling in the dressing room right after that. Just the bus ride home after that was
it was so much fun. Yeah, I think that was the end of the road trip, was it too?
Yeah.
We were in North Bay. Yeah. So that was crazy. I remember, and a Tag's goal in overtime was so nice too. So I think that just like put the cherry on top for sure.
Well, it was a good thing it was the end of the road trip because I just about blew my voice out when he made that.
Yeah, I forgot about you. You're up there screaming, and then yeah.
And I mean, I get a little bit passionate when the puck goes in the net for the Bulldogs. So I mean, 11 times. Glad we got the 2 points though.
Yeah, me too.
Next question coming in from Rose Lawson. Were you excited to get traded to a team like Hamilton, knowing that they had a young D-core and that you would get a chance to grow together as a group? We addressed this a little bit earlier, but that's a great question.
Yeah, for sure. That was one of the things when I accepted the trade to Hamilton. I was happy to work with a good coaching staff that allowed you to develop. I think that was one of the first things Dave Matzo said to me when I got there. He said, look, we don't want you to go chip off the glass, and we want you to make plays. And if you make mistakes, we're going to put you back out there. So that was awesome to hear right once I got there. I was definitely really excited to come into Hamilton and have a fresh start.
Absolutely. Best Fortnite player and worst Fortnite player on the team. Ryan Nolan with the question.
Best Fortnite player. I've only played with Arthur once, but I've heard he's really good.
I've heard the same.
But I've been playing with Peyton Bestial. He's gotten way better. And the worst player is probably me, to be honest. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I kind of just play just to hang out and talk with the boys more than anything. It's not even me enjoying the game as much. It's just to talk and hang out with the boys and chirp each other and whatever. So
that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Have you ever scored on your own net at any level from Logan White?
Yeah, I have once. Well, this year, I think it was in Saginaw. It hit off my skate and then one of the goals.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one in minor hockey. That's funny. That's my buddy, actually. So he asked that question because we've played growing up. So one time I was behind the net and we were doing a controlled breakout. And I was trying to rifle a puck right up the middle of the ice, like a slap pass. It hit off my goalie's skate, went right in the net. That was in triple A. And I was like, all the boys give it to me for that one for sure.
Well, I like that question because I've got one. I grew up playing defense, so I got one that I'll share with you. There was a play where my partner had pinched down the boards and they chipped past him. So I had to race back to stop a breakaway. And I figure my only chance is I'm going to dive and try a sweep check. So as I dive, the guy takes the shot. Well, my goaltender makes the stop, but as I dive and he makes the save, he slides out of the net. As I'm sliding, I collide with my goaltender. He loses the puck and it rolls over the goal line and in.
It's the worst feeling, isn't it?
Oh,
it's honestly terrible. You can't even explain it. It's crazy.
That was 15 years ago. I hear about that today.
Yeah, I'll hear about that one from my buddy Logan for forever. There's probably a few other stories too from minor hockey that we'll be laughing about in a few years.
They don't go away. You'll keep hearing.
No.
On your buddies too. As long as you get back at him, you're fine.
Yeah.
What's your favorite show on Netflix? This one from Chelsea.
I'm not much of a Netflix guy, to be honest. I really only watch it once in a while, but like I think Avery was saying, or maybe it was Tag. I think it was Tag in one of the videos. I've been watching the MJ documentary.
Yeah.
I heard Tag talking about that one too. I just finished the last episode yesterday, actually, and or the 6th episode. And the one thing I like about that one, which I can obviously, it's a lot easier for me to commit to that series, is just like a show. You don't see stuff like that. Like it's kind of cool to see how things were handled back then and behind the scenes. And I never knew any of this stuff, obviously, because I wasn't really around, like alive then. Like, so I wasn't born yet. So it's cool to see how good of a player Jordan actually was, because for our generation, I bet you if you ask most people like my age, they're going to say Kobe Bryant or LeBron James, because that's just part of our generation. So it's cool to see how good Michael Jordan actually was, and the preparation and the stuff that he did to make sure that he was the best player on the court at all times.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for something to watch, sports documentaries, ESPN did a brilliant one called Of Miracles in Men. It's the story of the 1980 U.S. Olympic team that beats the Russians. But they actually got interviews with a lot of the Soviet team from that 1980 U.S. Olympics. It's part of their 30 for 30 series.
I should watch that. That sounds good.
Yeah, if you can get a hold of that one, I would really recommend it. Anybody who's a hockey guy will really enjoy that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you miss hockey, and what other sports do you like?
Probably 10, to be honest. I don't think this is probably the longest in my life where I haven't skated. So I haven't been on the ice in 6 or 7 weeks now. Or actually, it might have been longer so I was out with at the end of the season with torn groin. So I didn't really skate. I skated once, I think, before we went on that Kingston road trip, and then the season was canceled right after that. Yeah. So I haven't skated in like 8 weeks, so I really miss it. That's for sure. It's tough to sometimes stay motivated when you're not seeing the progress on the ice. So it's that's one thing for sure. So I'd probably say 10. And other sports I do, I play golf in the summer. This summer I'm going to try. The courses I think here are supposed to open up in the next week or so. So I'm hopefully going to get a membership this summer and get into golfing a little bit more. And I also play tennis with my buddies once in a while too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's huge to play other sports, especially in the summer growing up as a kid, because I played every sport, to be honest, but those are probably just my two favorites. But it's huge to do that. I think just one, you learn so much more stuff like about the sports, other sports, not just specific on just hockey. So for me growing up, my parents always put me into basketball camps, soccer camps, all that stuff. So I've always been active with all that stuff.
I absolutely like that approach. I think I did the same thing, played a number of different sports growing up, and I love golf, but golf does not love me. That is,
you know what? That's me most days, though.
Yeah,
I'll like a few holes, and then after I have a few bad holes, it's downhill from there.
That's the thing, and that's the reason you keep coming back, because you have 4 or 5. I'm finally getting this, and the other 13. Yeah.
But you know what? That's why I think I want to get into it a little bit more this summer, because there's a lot to learn from golf. I think that can translate to hockey, like what we just said. Like you're gonna have bad shifts sometimes, and you got to reset and start again. So it's same with golf. So I'm trying to learn from golf and bring that into my hockey game.
Just avoid the water hazards. That's the best advice.
Yeah.
Done. Before we go, Cam, I do have a surprise that I wanted to bring out. I don't know if you know this, but at the end of every season, the Bulldogs do the warm-up jersey auction with the proceeds going to the Hamilton Bulldogs Foundation. Well, you had one in your first season with the Bulldogs, and I happened to bid.
No way.
So hanging up in my home office.
There we go.
Autographed
awesome.
Supryka warm-up jersey right away, instantly. And I think I've said this to you before. I was totally impressed when you showed up for the Hamilton Bulldogs.
That's awesome.
Had to get a piece of the memorabilia to put up in the office. So, before
That's
we go,
cool.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate the effort that you give out on the ice, and for a good cause in the foundation, had to go for it.
Yeah, that's
Before
great.
we go, want to give you an opportunity. We're on with all the Bulldog fans. Just say whatever you'd like to the great fans in Hamilton.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for your countless support this season, showing up to all of our community events, packing our arena, staying after games to get pictures and talk to us. You know, lots of times it's a lot of hours. You know, these people, our fans, are coming on the road, are cheering us on no matter where we go. And I just want to let you know that your support, we definitely really appreciate it, and we notice it. So continue supporting our Bulldogs, and just stay safe out there. The coronavirus right now. So yeah, that's about it. But just thanks for your continued support, and we definitely appreciate it.
Well, Cam, thanks so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it. Always great to catch up with you, and hopefully we'll get to see you back on the ice sooner rather than later. I know we're all looking forward to it. It'll be great to be back around the team again.
Yep, I can't wait. Good talking with you, Reed.
All right, that's Cameron Supryka, Hamilton Bulldogs defenseman. And as we close up today again, want to thank our wonderful friends and partners at FirstOntario Credit Union. Their high-interest e-savings offer available. You can enjoy 2.5% for 120 days when you open your first high-interest e-savings account at FirstOntario Credit Union. There are no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and you'll enjoy great rates while you watch your money grow. Members can open an account online today. Visit firstontario.com for more details. Of course, coming up in our schedule, Bulldogs e-gaming rolls on. Liam Van Loon on Thursday, March the 14th. He'll be playing NHL 20 at 3 p.m. And then the showdown, Tag Bertuzzi and Arthur Callie of NBA 2K20, May 21st at 11 a.m. That one, I think everybody is going to want to tune in for. Bulldogs Live rolls on a week from today. Logan Morrison and Ryan Winterton will be on with us Friday, May 15th at 4 o'clock. And then Friday, May the 22nd, we go back to the morning show with Liam Van Loon and Tag Bertuzzi. And again, you can see Ryan Winterton along with Logan Morrison, the Bulldogs' previous 2 first-round draft picks, both on together Friday, May the 15th at 4 p.m. as well. We're going to be looking at adding additional episodes as we head into June. So get to us with who you would like to see on Bulldogs Live. One more time, thanks to Bulldogs defenseman Cameron Supryka for joining us. I'm the voice of the Bulldogs, Reed Duthie. We'll see you on May the 15th when we have that interview with Ryan Winterton and Logan Morrison. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you then.
Awesome. Thanks, Reed.